My name is Bella, just your average housewife married for 2 years until I turned 27. Luck in the love department seemed to elude me entirely. I attended an all-girls private middle and high school, followed by an all-women's university. After graduating, I landed a job as a receptionist at a large corporation where, unsurprisingly, all my colleagues were women. In my social circle, it was typical for people to be invited to parties by business executives, but I never received such invitations. The reason was simple. Whenever I conversed with men, nerves rendered me speechless. While I often received compliments on my appearance and was asked out a few times, dinner conversations with kind-hearted gentlemen would invariably end with remarks like, "You're pretty, but there's not much else to you." Then, destiny knocked on my door. "Bella, will you go out with me?" That's what Lex, an employee from one of our client companies, said to me. Speculations arose among those around us, assuming we were dating since he would only give his contact information to me. However, that wasn't the case. Despite Lex's attempts to engage me in conversation, I merely responded with polite smiles, as I did with everyone else. I believed I was destined to remain single forever, but then his confession changed everything. Can we maybe just start off as friends?" Caught off guard, that was my reply, yet he nodded eagerly, his enthusiasm apparent as if his head might fall off. As he entered the office still smiling, I realized this was a first for me. Until now, encounters with men had always been tainted by ulterior motives. But with Lex, I sensed no such intentions, only pure affection. Thrilled, I went out with him a few times, though I remained nervous and struggled with conversation. Yet he accepted me for who I was. That's when I knew Lex, "Would you like to be in a relationship with me?" He was overjoyed, almost to the point of tears. This moment, this question, it all happened 2 years ago on Christmas. At that time, I felt extremely happy, believing I'd be blessed forever with such a loving person. But cracks appeared in the facade when his company went bankrupt. Now, 2 years later, at 29, I called to my still sleeping husband. "Lex, you should probably wake up now." Putting on my shoes, I left the house, the sole breadwinner for our household. His company had gone under 6 months ago, and he'd been jobless since. Despite his efforts in job hunting, the economy's downturn and saturation in his industry made it difficult. Even if he received an offer, it often amounted to a take-home salary of just $22,000, making it challenging for him to commit to changing jobs. Despite it all, I continued to stand by him, knowing that our love wasn't superficial enough to fade just because of unemployment. My salary had always been modest, and we never lived a life of luxury. Our home was a 2-bedroom rental apartment over 30 years old in a building that wasn't secure and was a 30-minute walk from the train station. Yet, I was willing to compromise on many things to keep our life together intact. I sensed that my husband was struggling to move on from the shock of his company going bankrupt. Despite having a few job offers, he seemed stuck. I patiently waited, hoping he'd find the right fit and recover emotionally. However, as time passed, my hope dwindled and his mental state deteriorated. He began taking his stress out on me, occasionally raising his hand in anger, though his actions left no lasting marks. Endured it, believing he was suffering more than me and wanting to be supportive. Then, finally, he landed a new job in a completely different industry. The new place was willing to hire him despite his lack of experience, and he accepted the offer. I felt relieved, thinking I wouldn't have to endure his outbursts anymore. I had questioned that he was becoming abusive, but it seemed like a phase. He threw himself into his work at the new company and even got promoted to team lead within a year. As I turned 30, thoughts of starting a family crossed my mind. However, the loving man I married seemed to have vanished. "Hey, I told you I like toast. Why did you make pancakes? And if you're going to serve fruit, at least remove the pit. He snapped over trivial matters, his temper flaring over the smallest things. His remarks turned increasingly hurtful. Really? Do you have to speak like that? You're an adult. Lex, take out the pit yourself, I retorted, my patience wearing thin. In response, he slammed his fists into the wall, intimidating me. Though I wasn't confrontational by nature, I instinctively recognized his behavior as emotional abuse. Lately, I've been careful not to provoke him, but our fights have become frequent, leaving me emotionally drained. The breaking point came when he directed his frustration at me again. The pressure of his new job seemed to be the root cause. Despite his promotion to team leader and talks of further advancements, the stress was taking its toll, and I was the easier target. Unable to bear the emotional strain any longer, I made a difficult decision. Actually, I quit my job as I turned 30 and transitioned into the role of housewife. It was a decision I had long planned. I had always intended to leave my receptionist job in my 30s to pursue something I truly desired. My husband was aware of this aspiration, so when the time came, I retired from my job as planned. However, it seemed that he wasn't entirely pleased with my decision. In this day and age, women need to work too. Can support both of us on my salary alone, you know. Do you even appreciate who's provided for you? He complained one evening over dinner. Then swiftly, he grabbed his bag and left for work. It struck me deeply. When he was jobless, I had been the one supporting him. So why was I now being blamed? His attitude began to create an emotional distance between us. Then one day, I returned home to find unfamiliar shoes at the door. To my surprise, my mother-in-law was lounging in the living room. "Oh, Mom, what are you doing here?" I asked, puzzled by her presence. My mom flatly stated, "Didn't Lex tell you? I'm moving in here from today." It was news to me. Later, I learned that my father-in-law had passed away, and my mother-in-law was feeling lonely. My husband had suggested she move in, but no one had consulted me. Stunned, I stood there as my mother-in-law ordered me to start making dinner, emphasizing that a homemaker's worth is proven by serving her family. Confused and frustrated, I went to the kitchen to prepare dinner anyway. However, as the food was nearly ready, my mother-in-law intervened. "Lex hates burgers. This is garbage," she declared, dumping the nearly finished dish into the trash. Stunned into silence, I watched as she rummaged through the fridge and began cooking without asking. Finally regaining my composure, I paused, holding my hand up to my mother, trying to pay damages. Now, they're blacklisted in the real estate market, unable to find another place to rent. As it turned out, the reason for the unpaid rent was my husband's costly mistake at work, resulting in a pay cut. Unable to secure housing in the area, he resigned from his job and moved far away, only to encounter further obstacles in finding employment. Eventually, he found himself homeless, and his mother resorted to shoplifting, leading to her arrest for injuring a store clerk during the confrontation. I learned about their downward spiral through online news, but beyond that, I didn't delve further. After the divorce, I pursued my dream of working in a cafe. There, I met and befriended a colleague who was 5 years younger than me. By the age of 34, I remarried. By 40, we opened our own dream cafe together, and now I'm pregnant. It may be a late-life pregnancy, but I've never been happier. With a renewed sense of purpose and a newfound happiness, Bella stood tall as she watched the sunset from the cozy confines of her dream cafe. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of cheerful chatter filled the air, creating an atmosphere of warmth and contentment. As she gently caressed her growing belly, Bella smiled, knowing that she had overcome every obstacle life had thrown her way. Reflecting on her journey, she realized that true happiness didn't come from external circumstances or the validation of others. It came from within, from embracing one's strength, resilience, and the unwavering belief in oneself. With her loving husband by her side and a bright future ahead, Bella knew that she had finally found her happily ever after. And as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, she whispered a silent thank you to the universe for guiding her on this extraordinary path of self-discovery and fulfillment. The moral of the story is that resilience, self-belief, and the courage to stand up for oneself are essential in overcoming adversity. Bella's journey teaches us that no matter how challenging life may seem, maintaining faith in one's abilities and refusing to compromise one's dignity can lead to eventual triumph and happiness. Additionally, it underscores the importance of surrounding oneself with supportive relationships and prioritizing personal well-being over societal expectations. Ultimately, the story encourages individuals to embrace their inner strength, pursue their dreams, and never settle for anything less than the life they deserve. As we come to the end of this captivating tale, remember that life's journey is filled with twists and turns, but it's how we navigate through them that defines who we are. If Bella's story has touched your heart or inspired you in any way, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. For more empowering stories, insightful reflections, and thought-provoking content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Together, let's continue to explore the depths of human resilience, celebrate the triumph of the human spirit, and spread positivity in the world. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, remember to stay strong, stay true to yourself, and never stop believing in the power of your dreams. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.